The Russian occupation authorities in Crimea have reported 22 Crimean Tatars from 1 to 7 days of arrest for coming to the court building to support their loved ones.
There were no grounds for their detention as they did not violate the law. They were simply not far from the court, waiting for a decision on the activists detained on August 24th. Directly next to the court were only relatives of the defendants in the criminal case. During the detention, 2 Crimean Tatars suffered from the actions of the police. 71-year-old Enver Seytimetov had his arm twisted, and Eldar Aliyev had bruises on his face. Emil Kurbedinov, lawyer, in the commentary of VD Info. But what is most interesting, the man began to receive summons, those detainees who were at the courthouse. As for the subpoenas, as far as I know, as far as I was given information by the sources, the summons were also distributed in the markets. They already started to distribute them yesterday and the day before yesterday. And moreover, they hand out subpoenas primarily to people of non-Slavic appearance, non-Slavic nationality.
At that time, the court was considering the case of the involvement of 6 activists of the human rights organization Crimean Solidarity and relatives of political prisoners in the activities of Hizbut Tahrir. We are talking about Amehtan Umerov, Seidamet Mustafayev, Ruslan Asanov, Abdulmajid Seytumerov, Eldar Yakubov and Remzini Mutalayev. They were detained on August the 24th in Bakhchisarai. Now they roll in a pre-trial detention center. Member of the Majlis of the Crimean Tatar people, Eskandar Bariev, explains the new wave of persecution as an attempt by the Russian occupation authorities to intimidate the protesting part of the population in the temporarily occupied Crimea.
Even politicians, occupation politicians and Gauleiters began to openly say that Hizbut Tahrir cells. They are directly connected with the Security Service of Ukraine, with the main intelligence directorate of Ukraine, and accordingly, they are led by the Special Services of Ukraine. And thus I think that this is done in order to demonstrate that the Russian security forces are actively and effectively working.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine condemned the next repressions of the Crimean Tatars.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine strongly condemns the persecution of Ukrainian citizens by the occupying administration of Crimea on entirely trumped-up charges and calls upon the international community, including the participants of the International Crimea Platform, to continue putting pressure on Russia in order to secure the immediate release of all Ukrainian citizens who have been illegally convicted by the occupying regime in Crimea. From the commentary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine on the website of the MFA of Ukraine.
The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry called on the allies to impose sanctions restrictions on officials involved in the persecution of Ukrainian citizens. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Vasil Panasiuk, UATV News.